Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the second last path on Act 7.4. Today we're going to do 7.4.1 Warpath, Shake It Off and Rust and Ruin along with Aggressive. This is all about your skill champions. Bring in your skill champions because every time you will dex back, you will remove a debuff from yourself. And with the Warpath is whenever as an attacker you will purify a debuff, the defender will gain the fury, increasing their damage by 25%. So you don't have to worry much about it. Just bring your skill champions and you should be able to run through this path easily. If you have an Aegon, if you have a Black Widow Deadly Origin, or even if you have a Kingpin, Kingpin is an absolute cheese for this path, so you can use him. I would highly suggest you to have Willpower Mastery here because that will help you from all the debuffs to regen, and also your deep wounds will be helpful as well because you're going to use quite a few skill champions that have a lot of bleeds. So deep wounds will be helpful too. The boss we're going to attempt is going to be an Ultron Prime. We will take him out with a Venom Pool, so stay tuned to the end of the video. And again, nothing much to worry about. If you bring in skill champions, you should be able to run through this path easily. Now before we jump onto the path, let's have a quick look at the masteries you can do with suicides and without suicides. But because of the path of Rust and Ruin, you might get a debuff on yourself that is going to be heal blocks. I would suggest you do it without suicides. So here are my setups that I usually use, so you can use them as well. So let's jump into the path, and make sure before you do, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel and turn on the post notifications. All of that really helps me out a lot and helps me grow the channel. So the first defender is going to be an invisible woman. So I'm going to use a mole man here. I'm just going to slowly use parry and heavy and build up my all of my monster mass and get into frenzy. And I'm going to use the bleach and the criticals to kill her off. I would highly suggest you to bring a bleach champion against invisible woman because that can easily take away the invisibility from her. So champions like Hawkeye would be really good here. Kingpin can also work, but you try to use some bleach champions like Gwenpool or champions like Black Panther OG, will work really well. If not, other champions can work as well. The only difference is when the invisibility will be active, you will have to parry her, miss one hit and wait for the invisibility to go away. With the bleeds, it goes away on its own, so just be wary about that. And don't worry about the debuff. If you're running willpower, it will heal you back up and you can always just swipe back, and with every dexterity you're going to remove one debuff, so that is also going to help you out. So pretty easy and pretty fun invisible woman to deal with. Next defender is going to be a Man-Thing. Now with Man-Thing, he is bleed immune and also poison immune. So I would suggest you to bring a skill champion that has some other damage over time effect. So in my case, I am going to use a Black Widow Deadly Origin. Her shocks will easily kill him off. All I need to do is to slowly just build up to an SP2 and throw them, and the SP2 does a lot of damage. She is my favorite skill champion, so I am a bit biased to her, but you can also use other champions. For example, you can use Aegon here once you have a little bit of combo meter built up that can help you with the shrug offs. You can also use somebody like Thor Ragnarok with all the shocks, and also with incinerates you can also bring in your Elsa Bloodstones, and of course you can always use that Kingpin, who is a big cheese for this path because of all the debuffs he can convert for himself and do some crazy damage with those furies. So I hope this helps, guys. Next up is going to be an Abomination. Now I am going to use an Elsa Bloodstone here because her rounds do extra damage to extra large champions. I'm gonna make sure I keep just dexing back so I can remove all of those poison or petrify charges whatever he throws at me with an SP1. I would try to keep him to an SP1 only and avoid the SP2 because you can get poison. So yes, that's about it. Just stay back and just keep swiping back to remove all the poison. You should be good with this fight. His SP1 is easily evadable as long as you keep him to a corner and you don't get corner. It should be an easy one. Again, you can use other champions as well. I've given you all the options there. They will all work really well here. The name of the game here is to just keep him to an SP1 and keep dexing back to remove uh, all of those debuffs from you. Another good thing about Elsa Bloodstone is she will remove any non-damaging debuffs on herself as well with her ability, so she is faster to shrug off any kind of debuffs on her. With together with the dex and the shake it off node, you should be able to take Abomination down very easily. Next defender is going to be a Sigil Witch. She's also not really difficult to deal with. One thing you need to take care about is to keep her to an SP1 only. Her SP2 can go unblockable and can do massive damage and kill you off in one go. Her SP1 is very easily evadable, so just keep that in your mind. I'm using a Gwenpool here, so what I'm trying to do here is to power lock her with an Enervate with an SP2 once she throws an SP1 out, and then just rush to an SP3, and with that armor break and with all the bleeds, I'm also running deep wounds 3x5, so that is also helping me. So Gwenpool should be able to melt her away. So I would suggest bring in any champion that has some kind of power control. So Hawkeye will also work really nicely here. You can also use a Kingpin. The only thing you need to take care about is to keep Sigil Witch with SP1, and you should be able to run through this path easily. Another good one can be Moleman, so it's up to you what champion you want to use. I just used here Gwenpool. Once I had the Enervate on her and all the bleeds, I was not worrying about any specials and I was able to kill her off easily. Next defender is going to be a Mr. Fantastic. Now, Mr. Fantastic is going to be a little annoying because the amount of debuff on yourself that you have, that gives him more evadability. So you will need to bring a skill champion that can fight against evade. So for example, Elsa Bloodstone with her Cold Snap. You can also bring in Shang-Chi with his slow. Also, by this time, if you have Aegon built up with his True Strike can also work here. Falcon is a good option, and also you can use Moleman here with 8 of those frenzy buffs before you activate the frenzy, so he still has a true side, so you can bypass all of his evades. I am using a Black Panther OG, so after a certain amount of hits he reduces the ability accuracy, so that is helping me out. But to avoid all of the evades, just make sure that you bring in a champion that can avoid all of those evades with his abilities, and you should be good there. The final fight before the boss is going to be against a Vision Arkus. Now this is probably the most annoying fight in the whole part because of his armor breaks and also cold snap damage. Now you can get away from him and try to shrug off the damage with Shake It Off, but it will be a little difficult. You will lose quite a lot of health. I would highly suggest you to bring a champion, one specifically for this fight, so somebody who is either immune to cold snap, or he is immune to armor break. So Doom, Colossus, even human torch will work really well here. You can also bring in champions that can remove skill champions that can remove non-damaging debuffs that can also help. But you notice with Elsa Bloodstone I was having a bit of trouble, then I go back in and I bring in a Mole Man and take him down barely. So to make this fight easier, the best way is to bring a champion that is either armor break immune or has some kind of cold snap immunity. And you can also run willpower, so if you do get any debuff on a non-skill champion, you can heal back from it, and that should help you out. And finally, we have the Ultron boss. Now, he is going to have one arm bended, make a stand, the best defense, and armor break immunity. So, with armor break immunity, you cannot use a Magneto here. You can use a Magneto, but it will take a lot of SP3s. That's not worth the hassle. So, I would highly suggest you use champions that are good against robots. So, Venom Pool is one. You can also use King Groot here. Also, Nebula is a good one here. You can also use Doom here because of the one arm bandit. Whenever you will knock down Ultron, he will get a corresponding buff on him that can be converted into a shock, and that can help you do a passive stun on him. Another good option here is going to be a Captain America Infinity War. Just combine him with a tech champion, and will have those petrifies going, so that can negate pretty much most of it. If you combine Captain America Infinity War with the Cosmic and also a tech champion, that is going to give petrify and armor break, and that's going to take care of all the buffs Ultron can potentially get by knocking him down. The three buffs that he can get are going to be power gain, fury, and also armor up, so you can use them to your advantage as well. So for example, I am using Venom Pools. I am purposely trying to knock him down whenever the passive buff is going to be an armor up, so he gets an active armor up that I can use an SP1 to eat it away and get regen on myself. So in that way you can use different champions. With Venom Pool, I am just slowly using my SP1s and getting those armor ups on him, and when I do knock him down, the protection goes away for 15 seconds. That is the time I can do a lot of damage to him. So yes guys, the name of the game is parry. Knock him down, just be wary about his weight charges, his protection will go away, and then you can do a lot of damage to him. And also remember, whenever you will knock him down, whatever is the corresponding buff is there in the passive cooldown, that will become active. It can be either a power gain, it can be either armor up or fury, so just be wary about that. If you can control those, the fight can be done easily. Might be a little long fight, but you should be able to take it down easily. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's only one final path remaining on 7.4. That will come up by tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to check out the next one and leave a like, leave a thumbs up. And apart from that, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.